Yes, come. Namaste, come. So, in the 40-step journey, the page number 36, we are on the understanding the purpose of life sets the journey of Eastern wisdom. So, when we talk of this journey, it is basically a self awareness program. So, when we say self awareness program, then I start recognizing my habits, my behavior, my attitude, and then I increase my awareness of behavior, attitude, thought, speech, and action. I realize they are different from me. They are an expression of me. They are an expression of me. I am different from. So it means my intellect knows how I am different from my behavior, attitude. And then the next question arises, oh, if I'm different from my behavior, attitude, and then who is this I? Who is this self? So that is where the self awareness program works. So, in the journey of self awareness, if I say that Eastern wisdom is self awareness program, so it is the power of separating behavior, attitude, actions from the self. So this separation of behavior, attitude, and expression from the self is what the power of discernment is, the power of viveka. So without the power of viveka in the intellect, the journey of Eastern wisdom is not possible. So I keep on increasing this viveka in daily affairs. I don't leave anything unnoticed. I don't leave anything to be dictated by the mind. Anything and any activity, when we live, think, and speak in that state of viveka, we have entered into the self awareness program. So, what actually happens that the self is completely separated from this entire world of people, of relationship, of attitude, of behavior, including of pain and pleasure, of likes and dislikes. Intellectually, it seems very easy, but it is not so. So, in the beginning, we sharpen the intellect, and gradually we see how we can internalize this knowledge not only by understanding other principles but also by practice. So, in one way, we also can say that this. So, now what happens when I start separating my behavior, for example, my guilt, my emotional uh, my emotional dependence from me. So the same self-awareness program becomes emotional freedom program. We are not getting carried away by any emotion in the world. Anything, let anything happen. Whatever is happening is different from me, is separate from me. Oh, I have a fever. No, body has a fever. Self is independent. Oh, someone died in the family. No, it's a problem of relationship. I am attached to the relationship. Should I not care? Yes, I should care everyone. But I should see whether I am emotionally dependent or emotionally free. Why? Because I have to find the real self. So if we closely look and examine emotional dependency, it is because of attachment, it is because of aversion, it is because of strong likes, it is because of strong dislikes. So, because of the strong likes and dislikes, we have pain in the pleasure principle. Because I don't find that this mind has a strong likes and dislikes. But then I start getting worried, getting into the pain and anxiety and fear. So the entire journey of the self-discovery from the self-awareness program, it also is an emotional freedom program. So what is that emotional freedom program? It is Vairagya. So one is Viveka and other is the Vairagya. So what exactly happens? What exactly happens when I continue? I've made some of the notes and that is what I want to focus on that. So now what happens once I have self-awareness program of discernment, I have an emotional freedom program. So now I have to examine what is happening to my mind, what is happening to my life, how my mind is responding to the outer situations in the world. So we start understanding that it is a mental transformation program. I am not easily upset. I don't get attached to the things and the people easily. I remain internally balanced and there is a sense of equanimity. So there undergoes a mental transformation program. Now what will happen to the business? Yes, business have a profit and loss. Relationship have plus and minus, high and low. Anything that is happening in the world, it is a part of the world. Anything, any changes that is happening to the body, mind, intellect, and ego, it is a part of the world. So you see that you start separating your body, mind, intellect, ego, thought, behavior, anxiety, duality, conflict from yourself internally. You endure it. You have some pain in the body, you endure it, and gradually your mind undergoes a change and a transformation. So we can say it is not only a self-awareness program, it is not only an emotional freedom program, it is also mental transformation program, mental transformation program. Now what happens with the mental transformation? We have lot of challenges, say for example, coming from the prarabdha, from the past impression. So now you are able to face those challenges in the form of a pain and discomfort. without any disturbances into the mind. You are able to minimize those pain and the suffering. Like Ramakrishna, extreme case who had a throat cancer, or even the J. Krishnamurti. J. Krishnamurti also had a stomach cancer. So it comes from the past impression. He could endure it. He was not worried at all. He says this body has to leave it. So it comes because of the self-awareness program, because of the emotional freedom, because of the mental transformation. So you are able to minimize what is going through and you continue to live into that state of higher awareness. This is one way to understand this entire journey. So gradually we will pick up each and every step. We will complete the 40 steps. And once you complete these 40 steps, you will see that you have become the highest level of a seeker. Now understand that we have said what we have said. It is self-awareness program. It is emotional freedom program. It is mental transformation program. It is the past impression reduction program. So then what happens? Then what happens to your life? What happens to your life? So what happens to your life that your mind is now not affected by the ignorance. It is more a knowledge-oriented life you live. At every step, in everything you live. You are going there, so you don't blame anyone. Oh, this product is, you are cheating me now. We just go for it. Let us put the knowledge. Let us find out the best price. For example, you might have seen. So let us find out the best price. So we don't blame anyone. We say, I have to find out the best price. I don't know it. Let me inquire. Let me understand it. But your mind is inner-oriented, self-oriented. You don't go from outside criticizing and let me find out. You have a problem with the body. You just go inside. It's knowledge-oriented. So every time the life is knowledge-oriented, it is not ignorance-oriented. So what happens when it is knowledge-oriented? So when it is knowledge-oriented, internally you feel you are not worthy of suffering. That self appears to be independent. That self appears to be independent. Internally, you don't feel that you are suffering. Outside, yes, body, mind, intellect, relationship, everything continues. Let it happen. So see what I said. First self-awareness program is Viveka. Emotional freedom program, dispassion or Vairagya. Mental transformation program that you find a sense of equanimity and equality in all the situation. Then you have past impression. It does not impact you if the past impression has some severe challenges in your life. So all the four are basically, it's a knowledge-oriented journey. What is knowledge-oriented? Self-knowledge oriented. So when we start following this journey, we start becoming clear of the purpose of the life. So because I cannot write so much, so on the page number 36, the title is Understanding the Purpose of Life, Sets the Journey of the Eastern Wisdom. Because if I write everything, the book will become, maybe book will become 1,000 pages. So that is why we have to leave certain part. So if you pick up all the five, self-awareness program, emotional freedom program, mental transformation program, knowledge-oriented program, the past impression reduction program. So when it has all the five elements, it is basically a conscious evolution and transformation of our life. Why it is a conscious evolution and transformation in your life? As you follow all these five steps, the next day you wake up in the morning, you are not at all dictated by any discomfort, challenges, duality, strong likes and dislikes in the mind. You are able to maintain the poise. So it's a process of conscious evolution. What is that conscious evolution? Mind was attached before, now it is detached. You still live in the same situation. In the beginning, the same situation was causing more discomfort. Now you live in the same situation. The mind has a level of endurance. It has nothing to do with whatever business you are doing, you're living your personal life, you are living alone or married or divorced. It does not make any difference. We are not going there. That is what the conscious evolution. And so what happens when I evolve? Oh, previously I was suffering from the same situation. I have the same situation. Now I have a level of endurance. I have a sense of emotional freedom. So that transforms the mind. You have a level of equanimity. You do the best for the people outside. You don't worry about their recognition. I have done this for you and, oh, you are against me. No, we don't worry about it. We don't bring the ego into it. I have simply done it. Let me do it. Let me do the best. So that kind of a mental transformation takes place. So gradually we are minimizing that ego also. We are reducing the occurrence of the ego in our day-to-day life. So yes, so now what happens once we do, I added conscious evolution and transformation. Now what happens? Once we follow this, this is what is known as awakening, realization, and transformation. So I should have said simply in the beginning, the entire Eastern wisdom is awakening, is realization, is transformation. Now it is very easy to understand what is awakening. We start recognizing that there is something in me, there is some presence in me, there is some consciousness in me which is independent, free, not impacted by anything from the world outside, from the relationship, from the society. So when we recognize that there is something in me which is totally independent and different from the body, mind, intellect, ego, from the society, from the relationship, from the attachment, so we awaken to some presence. You awaken to some presence. So that is why it is known as awakening. That is why it is known as awakening. It is very important. Now what happened? That presence is separate from the body, mind, intellect, and the ego. That is what we have to study in the book, Peace and Happiness. Peace and Wisdom speaks. So it is a knower in the knower. We are not doing anything. and we recognize the two are different. We need not to do anything, they are always different. But when they feel mixed up, that is ignorance. That causes the suffering. So why, when they mixed up, what need to do? We have to follow the self-awareness program. We have to do the emotional freedom. So in the beginning, we don't talk about the knower and the known. So for the highest level of a seeker who has already undergone and practiced and realized a state, who has awakened to the presence, and then we say, do you look at it? Because of these practices, we have reached to that state of awakening where I see there is some presence inside. You can follow that presence. So in the path of Bhakti Yoga, we follow that presence. We give an image to that presence, and that image, that presence may be the Shiva, that presence may be the Krishna, that presence may be any god. So once we have that presence, second step is the realization. We grow that presence inside us, not only during meditation, but during day-to-day activities. So growing that presence in daily activities is what the realization is. Or we can say it is also a spiritualization, that your whole life is spiritualized. The morning you wake up, whatever the activities you are doing, that presence is always within you. That is the goal of, that is another goal of the Eastern wisdom. So then what happens about the transformation? Transformation takes long time. Sometimes it takes 5 to 10 years. What is that transformation? Our past habits do not die so easily. Our strong likes and dislikes do not dissolve easily. So they undergo a transformation, sometimes very slowly and sometimes very fast. So that is why we use the three words: awakening, realization, and transformation. So for the highest level of a seeker, if we like Ashtavakra the Janaka, he directly talks. He doesn't talk about, oh, you have to do with the Viveka or Vairagya. He doesn't talk. Yadi deham prathak kratyah chiti vishramya tishtasi adhunaiv sukhi shantah bandha mukto bhavishyasi. Yadi deham prathak kratya, in the very first chapter that I have covered in this book. So Ashtavakra, the master says, Yadi deham prathak kratya. If you perceive that you are different from the body, self-awareness, emotional freedom. He did not talk about it because Janaka was the highest level of a seeker. Yadi deham prathak kratya. If you see, he did not say if you separate. He said if you see it, it means it is already separate. So why I don't see them, they are not separate? Because of my emotional dependence, because of my ignorance, because of my delusion. Yadi deham prathak kratya. If I see that this body is separate, then what happens? Chiti vishramya tishtasi. What a beautiful way. He says, the moment you see it is separate, your mind settles into calmness. Why? Servant of the mind is the body. Mind cannot function without the body. I'm moving my hand, my lips, throat. It is because of the mind. The mind has to use the body as a servant. But now when I see that this body is separate, the mind has nothing to do. Mind comes down. Yadi deham prathakratya chiti vishram tisthasi. Oh, then what happens? Adhunaiva sukhi shantah. Adhunaiva. Here and now, you are in peace and happiness. Did he say you have to do a lot of practices to reach to that peace and happiness? No. He said you just see them, it is separate. What is already separate, you see them, it is separate. What is already different and separate, I don't see it as separate. It is because of the ignorance, and that is why I have to follow that path. So adhunaiva sukhi shantah bandha mukto bhavishyasi. So if I continue to live into that state, what happens? Awakening, realization, and transformation. He did not talk about how many practices, how many breathing, how many mantras, what to do. So that journey is for the highest level of a seeker. That we should understand. Why we should understand? We should inspire ourselves to become the highest level of a seeker. How? Self-awareness program, emotional freedom program, mental transformation program, prarabdha dissolution or reduction program. That is what the Eastern wisdom is. Knowledge-oriented program. Yadi deham prathakratya chiti vishramya tisthasi adhunaiva sukhi shantah bandha mukto bhavishyasi. Bandha mukto bhavishyasi. So when we are at the highest level of a seeker, we recognize the knower and the known, the seer and the seen are already different. So when we do not, we are not that level of a seeker where my ego comes in between and it says, I'm the doer, I'm not the seer. I'm the doer, I'm not the seer. If I don't do anything, I cannot achieve anything. So these programs, self-awareness program, emotional freedom program, mental transformation program, past impression reduction program, knowledge-oriented program, gradually reduces our ego. What should I do? I should continue to follow this journey until I recognize that this ego reduction program has been taking place. The moment it takes place, we have an internalization of the knowledge, we have a realization. First time we recognize that now the purpose of life is different. Purpose of life is not outside, purpose of life is inside. Purpose of life is inside. Internally, you internalize. You internalize. So you see that is what it says that 2 divisions of 4 goals. 2 divisions, there are 4 goals only. There are four goals, and you can divide them into two categories. What are the four goals? First is earning the wealth. Second is with that wealth getting the pleasure. Third is follow these two goals according to what is right and good. That is dharma. It means I am performing my personal duty. So while doing my personal duty, I am making a right effort and a good effort. So whatever the good effort and the right effort I am making, it is going to help me earn the wealth. And then I am also moderation in pleasure. Moderation in pleasure, if I can say. Don't say that, oh, let me get out of the pleasure all the... No, it is not possible. As long as this body is there, body will seek the comfort. You are sitting in a position which gives you the comfort. That is also a pleasure. We have not to go to the extreme. I have to understand that process. Even if the teacher is sitting in a comfortable position, how the teacher can give you a teaching if it has all the thorns in his hips? No, not possible. So we use the word moderation. So moderation means that I am not attached to anything which gives me pleasure, but I feel comfortable. I find out the most comfortable state and the position and the relationship in my life. Why? So that I don't get disturbed by the outer circumstances. It may be the outer circumstances, it may be the people, it may be the food, it may be the clothes, it may be anything. So when we look at it, what we see that according to Eastern wisdom, there are four goals in human life. Now you see that one is very important we have to understand. The mind knows the three goals in life. Every time I'm making an effort, is my method of earning the wealth is dishonest or honest? Am I doing it by cheating or by honesty? So, and why I am doing it? For the sake of living a comfortable life. So all the three goals are always there, always there. I kill the conscious, then I cheat and I kill my conscience. So it means conscience here is intellect. Conscience here is I don't discern. I don't do the viveka and vairagya. I see that I feel that pleasure is more important than what is the right means. That is what the conscience in Christianity is. So you have to be very practical, very pragmatic in every issue. Is this activity, is this personal effort is killing my conscience? Do I have some duality, some conflict in my life or not? If it has some conflict, then I have to get rid of this. How to get rid of this? I have to find out the thought and the speech and the action that I am performing has some duality and a conflict. In performing either business, in living a relationship, or talking to a son and a daughter, I want a freedom. I want to continue to act. I want to live in the freedom in my relationship. Is it possible? Yes, it is 100% possible. So the master teaches this. So what is happening? I feel myself independent of the first three goals. The artha, the kama, and the dharma. What I'm doing and the way I'm doing is not causing any duality and a conflict in my life. That is the nitya karma. So Nitya Karma is not purely an intellectual. No, I'm doing my Nitya Karma. My daughter said, have this, and so I gave her that. No, that is not the Nitya Karma. How can you give that? Did you bring anything at the time of your birth? You're not born with the wealth. No one is born with the wealth. So I built an ego. Now I gave you this, and now it is your turn. You have to follow me. No, that should not work. That will not work. That is not the Nitya Karma. That is not the. I should follow that all the three goals, outer goals, are in harmony. I have done for the sake of doing. I have to do it. That is why I have done. I gave an example of that. Women who were supporting financially and who bought the car. She is still there. She is a manager in one of the jewelry brand in US. And so she was totally upset that why the car was so dirty when I am paying. I told you that. So I have to understand that clearly. What to understand? What to understand? That I was born in a country with parents of a particular attitude, with particular challenges in the society for my evolution. I got married to a person for my evolution. I have a daughter for my evolution. I have a son for my evolution. I don't see my partner, my son, my daughter has some major issues and they need to address them. No, that is not my concern. Whatever they are doing, let them. I have to see my relationship with them is free from any conflict, duality, and you bought a gift for them, it's good. So now internally, I have to consciously think when you are giving that gift to them, I have not to bring my ego. God has given me these resources, and because of these resources, this gift already belongs to them. So I'm offering on behalf of Shiva or the God. So this would be a journey of my evolution. But if I do out of the ego, I forget to do the Nitya Karma. I don't create a balance. So in every step, I have to internalize all my thought, speech, and action. Why to internalize? To experience the sense of freedom. Don't feel the burden. Don't feel the ego. No, I have brought this for you. And my daughter, that's why I brought you. I will also bring a lot of things, if provided you follow me. No, that's not our journey. Even if you force them to follow, there will definitely be a problem. Why? Their nature is different. Their temperament is different. But should I not guide them? Yes. We have to create such an environment and a condition in our relationship so that I can talk. I can communicate. So that here they should agree with. They should agree with what is right and good. Not going against, not creating any issue is what the Nitya Karma is. Is what the Nitya Karma. And we are already learning. Tomorrow we are going to learn another lesson on the Yajna. So you see, if I link again, I'm going back. It was self-awareness program, discernment, emotional freedom program, dispassion or viragya, mental transformation program, that Shat Sampatti, knowledge-oriented program. I have an intense desire for the freedom. So when I follow that, this whole process is known as the process of self-inquiry. My master used to say that the moment you set your intellect on the journey of the self-inquiry, from that very moment, you start removing your anxiety, your duality, your conflict, your pain and the pleasure. But that journey of the self-inquiry should include all those aspects. So Ramakrishna has reached to the highest level of his self-inquiry. So it doesn't make any difference whether he has a problem with the cancer or not. So our suffering, whatever we say, self-inquiry reaches to its highest state when we say the suffering is caused by the ignorance. Ignorance is false understanding. False understanding is wrong notion about who I am and who I am not. Wrong understanding of who I am and who I am not is not able to see the difference between the knower and the known. Not able to see the difference between the knower and the known. You just talked about it, that I subjectifies the object. I subjectified the object. So as long as you subjectifies the object, you are bound to suffering. There is no end to the suffering. No, you must give me the car at this price. So I have subjectified the situation. No, let me remain it objective. You are saying this, but I'm not buying it. Finished. It's not my cup of tea. I'm going. Let me leave. Thank you. So people get surprised, what kind of guy this is. He likes the car. He understands it. Yes, I understand. Like the car. Yes, I like it. But I don't like that much so that I will start suffering. That's not my cup of tea in my life. Not at all. Why should I suffer? So when I suffer, I subjectify. Today, guys, the Acura is such a beautiful car. It cannot be compared with this car. I said, I know it. It is your perception. I have to see my comfort. No, that is also a good car. You have to be purely objective in dealing with the world outside. And you can say that you avoid extreme suffering in your life. In every case. In everything. Sometimes you lose money. You objectify it. But if you subjectify it, then you have a problem. You have a problem. Oh, this guy cheated it. I used to say that in a different way. Pay attention. No one sends you SMS message that today in the morning when I meet you, you should hate me, you should react. No one sends. But I still hate. Why? I have subjectified. I subjectified. I've been thinking about that guy. And there's a feeling of the hatred and anxiety is there. And then the moment the guy comes in front of me, and then I'm ready to fight. So no one sends me the email, no one sends me the text message, no one says me in the front, okay, please now hate me, now react to me, now be angry. I subjectify. Now it makes you understand clearly. So I don't know, oh my goodness, I did not follow the self-awareness program, I did not follow the emotional freedom program. I did not follow the mental transformation program. Oh, that is why. That is why even anyone did not send me the message, email, text, did not call me, and I'm still worried. I'm still concerned. I'm still fighting. I'm still reacting. If the Nather did not want to give me reply, it is his outlook. You are very good. I'm also good. Same thing in every dealing. So you see that this Eastern wisdom, how it helps in our personal, professional, social, family life all the time. That is the beauty. That is the beauty of it. So let us see what other topics are covered. I covered in a different way. So yes, I covered it. I have to remember. There is another way to remember is that there are 4 goals in life in 2 categories. One goal of life I should not forget, then the 3 goals of the life I should continue to work according to Nitya and Vinaya. 3 goals, Nitya Karma. Going beyond the Nitya Karma is the 4th goal. Is the moksha and the freedom and the awakening. Awakening, realization and transformation. So I just briefly put it. So Eastern wisdom, what we seek, what we have to seek are 2 different desires. So here that is also demands an explanation. What we want and what we should ask the mind to want. What my mind desires and what my mind should desire. Difference between the two. My mind is impulsive, habitual, instinctive, and it desires a lot of things, and which ultimately goes to the pleasure building of the ego and ultimately getting frustrated. So I apply the self-awareness program to discern what my mind must desire is one thing, that is the 4th goal, and what my mind is constantly desiring all the day long are the 3 goals. So I have to give a check and I have to replace the intense pleasure-seeking mind. It should be replaced by, no, I want a freedom from this pleasure also. I want a freedom from this suffering also. You are practicing Viveka and Vairagya 24/7. 24/7. You are not separating your business activities, professional, social, and family activities from the spiritual life. Sometimes you are able to separate your intense pleasure seeking mind, and at other times I have to put the mind into a discipline. Why? To give a space to the mind to desire what it must desire. Internally, I become aware. So, internally, when you become aware, my mind, you must desire the freedom. No, you must desire the permanent peace and happiness. So, the mind struggles. But now, this mind struggles in the right direction. Mind, you're going there? No, you have to go come. You are seeking a permanent peace and happiness that lies within you. Why you are going outside? So you use endurance, you use understanding, you use self-inquiry. That is what is known as the tapa. If you are using only the self-inquiry, you are a higher seeker. You are forcing the mind to change the direction, you are a lower seeker. Should I not do it? Yes, whenever it is required, I need to do it. I need to do it. Why? Return again to the same question. My mind is desiring by default, seeking pleasure from the world. What is this? This is prayers. What my mind should desire, must desire, is shreyas. So intellect has to understand it, and understanding of that intellect should be implemented to the mind. When? All the time, 24 by 7. 24 by 7. And when that happens, you will see in the beginning there are some challenges. But once you see that, you enjoy it. You are filled, your mind is filled with the calmness and peace. Because now the mind does not have an agitation and a triggering and excitement that is running after seeking pleasure from an object. Possible, 100% possible. It is possible. So, yes. So that is what, again, you understand that this is what we talk about, purity and the impurity of the mind. Purity of the mind, impurity of the mind. Prayers in the mind is dominating me. The prayers is in moderation, is balanced. I have taken over the prayers. The way I am sitting, it gives me a pleasure. It's okay because it is required so that I can focus on what I'm learning. But if this becomes an obsession, that is the problem. It becomes no, this food is okay, yeah, that food is okay. But if without that food I am still hungry, that is not it. That is a problem. So by consistent listening and learning, the mind becomes aware of it. Mind becomes aware of it, and then we recognize, oh, that is the importance of shreyas in the prayers. So now I start applying shreyas in the prayers in a balance in my life all the time. When we apply that all the time, it helps you. So consistent practice, consistent learning, and then we have to recall and remind during the life in different events. Sometimes your daughter says, I don't agree with you, Dad. Oh, you should disagree with me, yes. So now internally you are hurt with the ego, but you still say, yes, yes, my daughter, you should disagree with me. So once you are calm, then I will talk. You can give the precious gift and still say, daughter says, hell with you, dad. I don't care. I should not get affected. I should not get affected. For example, daily activities, it is there. Conscious. So I have to remember that is where the tapasya comes. That is where the endurance comes. Tapasya is not going to the Himalayas and sitting there. Anyone can achieve that. There are no girls and there is no opposite sex. There is only the trees. So either you become mad or you will commit suicide. There is only one possibility because knowledge is absent. Knowledge is not there. So that is why Master says that when you are with the teacher, then yes, you have a right to live in the forest. Otherwise, there is no possibility because that knowledge is not there. So your previous knowledge, your past impression, your pleasure-seeking mind will haunt you, will make you mad. So for a normal people, it is. For average householder, it is not. Himalayan is not the example. Yes, I have covered this. Yes, yes, I have. Yes, you can also say in a different way. I have written in a different way. So whether you say it's a self-awareness program or you directly come to the discernment. So I have to understand the discernment in my daily life. It is not only that you sit down and then intellectually you understand it, and once that lesson is over, and then you forget to apply that discernment. No. So that is why I said it is a self-awareness program. So how I said it is an emotional freedom program, you can directly understand it is a vairagya. So every time I have to check. Is my mind calm, free, available to me, or is the mind is chasing something in relationship, object and the thing? Is it disturbed? Does it have a duality and a calm? I have to check out every day. Am I in front of the wife, or do I feel that kind of a separation? Perhaps feel the sense of freedom. Vairagya. So it means I see the vairagya in my day-to-day living. And then we see the mental transformation means the sense of equanimity is there. Equanimity means the mind is calm in all the circumstances, in all the situations in my life. Mental transformation, I said. And yeah, Prarabdha reduction program. So by 6 treasures, we constantly reduce the suffering, pain, conflict. Why? Because I start bypassing my prarabdha, my past impression, my past conditioning. I minimize it. That is another way to put it. So there is less of reaction in my daily life. It is more of a response in my life. That keeps the mind free. So reacting, there is no way to react. There is no sense of duality. There is no, I have added lot of more steps. I'm just reminding, so there is no sense of delusion. Delusion is minimized. Delusion means the false belief and the impure mind. Now that impure mind is not ruling me. So that impure mind is not ruling me. So you see that there is another way to look at it. That's what I was writing. So it becomes another way to put it the way. So four desires: security, wealth, pleasure, calm, values or dharma or nitya karma, the third. Fourth is the liberation. And then I said there are only two types of desire. One desire is shreyas, other is prayas. So under prayas, three desires comes. Under shreyas, only one desire comes. That is another way to understand. Now another way to understand that working with the shreyas expands the mind. It expands your mind. Working with the prayers without understanding contracts your mind. It limits you. It builds your ego. And it causes obsession and attachment and duality if you do not do it with an understanding. What is that understanding? Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka and Vairagya are the means, are the wheels of journey of self-discovery. Or you can say it is the self-awareness program or emotional freedom program. I like this food, self-awareness, emotional freedom. So they are the two wheels. So either whether you say the Shreyas or the Prayas, or you can add this. Shreyas works with a higher knowledge in the purpose, and prayers works to fulfill desires. So obviously I have to fulfill the desires in modern life, in any life, in the material life, as long as I'm living my personal, professional, social, family life, that is outer life. But I see that self-awareness, emotional freedom is there in fulfilling desires in life. I have no issue. That is how I have some thoughts I have written. Need balance of both to some degree. So I strike a balance. So what is that balance? Normally, non-seeker's life, it is the prayers which dominates. And I strike a wrong balance whether I should love my daughter or love my wife. That is the wrong approach. That is the wrong approach. I should find out the balance between the Shreyas and the Prayas. I should not lean towards anyone. Why should I lean towards anyone? Where is the reason? There is no way. I should not lean. I should see. Both appears to be two individuals with whom I should not be attached. I have a different role towards the daughter. I have a different role towards the wife. So that is the meaning that I keep the Shreyas on the top. And the prayers, I balance the prayers. Now, prayers, you have to live down. You have to live down. So that is what I have written those thoughts today. So every time there is a need balance of both to some degree. Extreme of either causes the problem. Extreme of either. What is the extreme? Do whatever you want to do. I'm not interested. So I see that is a kind of vairagya. No, that is not vairagya. I'm living. But it does not mean that I don't get excited. I don't react. We have to be very careful. So it takes time to understand that. So wise choice is Shreyas over the prayers. Wise choice. I have written for you. Wise choice is Shreyas over the prayers, but prayers has a role and is a part of life. Prayers is a part of the life. Trick is managing balance skillfully. I have to. Why? I'm living a householder life. I'm not a monk. If I'm a monk, so who is a monk? Remember, understand that monk.
No social duty only that. Right.
Only consistent listening and learning, serving the teacher, and you wake up in the morning, you spend 3 hours in meditation, then you have a time only for the teacher, you serve teacher and you listen to the teacher. Again, you take your food, you spend another 2 or 3 hours in meditation, then you pick up a book, you contemplate and reflect, no external duties allowed. Do I have that?
You have to be born for such life.
You have to be born for such. But it does not mean that I cannot reach to that state. But I am now clear that that is not my cup of tea to become a monk. My mind has a lot of rajasic and the tamasic gunas. So in order to balance this rajasic and tamasic guna, I have to live a worldly life. I have to do a nitya karma. I have to do a karma yoga. I have to do the yajna. Why? Because I'm continuously purifying the mind. So offering a gift is also a purifying the mind. Earning money is also purifying the mind. My all activities are now devoted to for the purification. Why? So that I can reach to that state of the mind of a monk. So while living a householder life, you're living a householder life. Outside, you're living like a family life. But internally now you have realized that I spend more time in my meditation. I feel internally that it is better to live in a solitude than enjoying the pleasures outside. So you get those notions, you get that understanding. And once you have that understanding, the Shreyas is on the top. Shreyas on the top. I made it very clear. I written in a different way, but that is the same thing. There is a difference between what we seek based on our likes and dislikes versus what we should seek. That means what is right, good, and proper. So my mind does know, because if I don't apply the discernment, viveka and vairagya, I cannot find out what is right, good, and proper. So it means viveka and vairagya is always working inside my head. Instantly I take a decision. Why? Prayers leads to ego. Shreyas leads to dropping of ego. Prayers leads to calmness. Prayers leads to, if the prayers goes beyond the limit, it causes the stress. Shreyas refers to behavior and attitude that is morally right and for the greater good. Yeah, it's worth understanding that statement. It comes from the self-knowledge and keeps the ego in check. Prayers refers to behavior focused solely on what is pleasant for oneself, based on like and dislike. So Upanishad teaches the Shreyas, light, right, good. That is the meaning of Shreyas. What is Prayas? Pleasant, that may result into obsession. So I introduce the Viveka. What I feel is extremely pleasant. So that pleasure doesn't bind me. I do not subjectify what is pleasant in my life. So I enjoy that state of awareness. That is what. The difference between prayers and the shreyas I need not to. You have already pursuing shreyas versus prayers. I have already done it. Shreyas is behavior. I have covered. Shreyas and the prayers must work in harmony. Yes. Shreyas refers, I have already explained to you. These are repetitions. The word shreyas means, yes, I have already explained. Yes, I have added one more point in this journey that we have to constantly. Did I add this? Let me see. Yes, on the page number 39. The last para you see there are four words, 4P. So either you can remember and start self-inquiry or examination in your daily life. The first is the pramata. Pramata means the subject. Subject means the seeker. I am the seeker. Pramana. It means the instrument to gain the knowledge. Third is the prameya. It means the object of knowledge. Fourth is the prama. It means the resulting knowledge. What is this? Pramata means the seeker, student, competency to receive the knowledge. This is Anubandha Chatushtaya. Four connections. Competency of a student is what the seeker is. I have to find out, am I a competent seeker? I just gave an example. Those who are born saint, like Vivekananda, days of the 16. He met Vivekananda, he met Master, and he says no, and he heard the talk, and then he went under a tree, and he was sitting there for a couple of hours. We don't have that level of competency. So it means then, so the first level is the pramata, is the seeker, student, competency to receive the knowledge. Now the pramana, the means and instrument of gaining the knowledge. Means is the teacher and the text. That is what we, prameya, the object. What is the subject matter of the knowledge? Is the real self. Real self. Understanding the subject matter clearly, understanding the real. Now we understand intellectually that real self is there, or as if it is in the sky. My mind does not comprehend that real self is me. I say, no, I have understood. No, where you have understood? It is not in the sky, it is you. It is you. So intellectual understanding, if we do not internalize, it keeps our understanding too far and the ignorance continues. So that is why we say subject matter has to be understood clearly. And what is the fourth one? The prama. Prama means that what I get by following this journey of the Eastern wisdom, what is the result? I have a realization of the real self and I bring an end to the suffering. So now you see that the first step is the steps to become a seeker. The master determines if a person has a necessary competency. So does the master rule and dictate? No, the master explains. So and the seeker understands where I stand for. And then I don't have a guilt, I don't have an inferiority complex, but let me find out. So what are the other possibilities? Can I become a seeker? In what way? In what direction? So the teacher always inspires and guides on this path. The person understands the purpose in the subject matter, knowledge aimed at self-realization and ending the suffering. Now see that I have already explained you the shreyas and the prayas. So it means now the seeker understands how to balance the shreyas and the prayas in the life. Why? I cannot become the monk. I have Rajasic and Tamasic Guna. So I have the Rajasic and Tamasic Guna, so I have to balance it. I have to purify the mind. So I'm purifying the mind. Okay. So that is the journey I've undertaken. Should I get excited now? Should I feel that how I have been learning for so long? No. I've been learning for so long because the competency I have to reach to that. That is more important. Learning for 10 years and only learning one principle, and learning 1 year and progressing very fast. So it has nothing to do. Becoming a seeker. Master makes one a seeker to acquire self knowledge and bring an end to the suffering. So that is steps. What are the steps? You can again understand. So every time the master talks about these principles, so I have to listen to it again and I have to see. I have to examine myself how much competent I am, how long my mind remains into that state of living with these principles, and how faster my mind forgets these principles. So that will make a difference in my life. Oh, again, I have a dry knowledge, but I fail to apply in my life. I have to look for it. So that is why we say that we have to become a seeker. From a person, I have to become a seeker by following certain criteria, like Shreyas and the prayers and all those steps that I have started. Self-awareness program, emotional freedom program, mental transformation program, a past impression reduction program. Past impression reduction program, I see that likes and dislikes are minimized now in my life. I'm able to keep a balance. Now those strong likes and dislikes do not impact me in my daily living. So if it does not impact, you will find out that you are a seeker of a greater art. So I ensure the effectiveness of teaching also. The student has a right to ask the teacher, can you explain it differently? I'm not able to understand. So teacher tries to explain it differently and still the seeker is not able to understand. So again the teacher tries to explain third way. Not possible. It means the Raju and Tamoguna is dominant. Then we have to undergo lot of practices. Lot of practices. Have clarity on the topic. I should have clarity on the topic. If the clarity is not there, then I have to go through these practices. Now see, that is also very important to understand. Seeker is not prepared inside, from inside. Why it is not prepared from inside? Because the mind is constantly objecting. It is listening, it has an intellectual understanding, but it does not realize, internalize. It forgets. It returns to its past impression of strong likes and dislikes. That is one defect. Second defect may be in the teaching method of a teacher, because that seeker is not able to understand because of the teaching method of a teacher. So that is why you see that every time I change that process of teaching, I pick up, oh no, I have to talk about these aspects in this teaching so that I will cover the previous teaching, I will cover the future. That is how it works. Goal not clear. Goal is not clear. So we raise objection. Where is the real self? I don't have a belief. I don't have a conviction that there is any real self.
Because it's a sign of real self.
Huh?
Because we study the six.
Yeah. Those are the six. So I should remember. And no, I can't see the real self. Oh, mind, you are crazy. You cannot see the real self. You cannot see the space. What to talk of the real self? So I just convince my mind. Why to convince my mind? Because mind is living in ignorance. So the three factors: seeker, object of knowledge. So I have done this. Seeker must eliminate the doubt. So one reason of the consistent listening and learning from the teacher, that the teacher always focuses on how to remove the doubt, how to have the intellectual conviction, how to help the seeker to rise in awareness. And that is what the four connections are. What are the two? Yes, I have covered that. What are the shares? I have covered that. Why does the mind filled with the prayers result in negative emotions? Why, by default, by the birth, by the birth. So by the power of discernment and vairagya, I have understood that this path seems to be right. So if I don't follow this path, I don't move to the shares. So I have to make a conscious effort. Why does work becomes play with the shares? Yes, that becomes the nitya and nimitta. So if I perceive every thought, speech, and action is a part of the shares, it becomes a nitya karma. What is right and good? I'm just doing what is right and good. I follow that. How does the Shreyas expand the mind? It's very clear. The Shreyas means the self-awareness program, emotional freedom program. So obviously it gives me a state of the calmness. I'm not easily attached. I'm not easily detached. I don't feel bad about. If I lose something, I don't feel very good and elated if I get too much of benefit. And how does the prayers narrow the focus? Because the prayers makes me limited, constricted all the time. Because it gives me a sense of ego. Ego is always limited. So I'm just asking the questions and you can find the answer. How does a master make one a seeker of the self-knowledge? So you are, by giving the examples, the teacher gives the examples again and again in a different way. So I have to apply those examples in my daily life to see whether I'm able to progress. Do I live into that awareness or not? So that helps me. Where does the Shreyas originate from? Where is the origin of the Shreyas?
Based on the principle of the teaching.
Yes. This teaching is the knowledge. So we are asking, where does the Shreyas originate from? It originates from the intellect. So if the intellect lives in viveka and vairagya, then I have the knowledge of the Shreyas. If the viveka is not there in the intellect, and you see, these are typical questions. You have to answer.
We are acting based on our knowledge, which is inside.
Yes, knowledge in the intellect. Yes, you are saying knowledge inside. So where inside? Knowledge in the intellect.
Yes, but from intellect it have to pass to the deep inside.
Yes.
My action.
Once we go inside, then we will talk about that. But until then, we have to lay our importance on the intellect. Why? Because I have to purify the intellect.
But in this case, intellectual understanding will be enough, but it's not enough. Because you understand correctly, but acting wrong. It means that your knowledge not pass.
Yes. That's a good logic. So I have an intellectual understanding followed by the practice. So the practice must change my behavior.
Yeah.
So once I have changed my behavior and my attitude, now this knowledge. Yes, now the knowledge has gone inside.
And only in this case, it's real knowledge.
Yes. So gradually what happens, we find, that real self is me. It is beyond that intellect. Yes. Where does the prayers originate from?
From desire.
From desire, from ego, from ignorance, from delusion. So you have different answers, whether you can take any example: ego, desire, delusion, false notion, obsession. When does the choice arise between the shreyas and the preyas? When does the choice arise between the shreyas and the preyas? If my intellectual paralysis is not there, if my emotional dependence is not making me totally blind, if it has made me totally blind, then I cannot make a choice. So that is, but how the choice comes by consistent listening and learning from the teacher. That is what the satsang is. Oh, it makes you aware. No, 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 no. Oh, I have heard this. I've learned this. Oh, this is not good. Let me do this. So when does the choice arise between shreyas and the preyas? There is some sense of awakening is there. Some sense of clarity is there. Conscience is there. Conscience again lives in the intellect.
Always time when you make choice, are you want
Oh, yes, yes.
or you want to go correctly?
Yes, yes, yes. Once you have a choice in your mind, it means this option is going towards an obsession, and I have a choice. Obviously, it's a viveka. It's a viveka. When does one becomes a seeker? Oh, I have to live into this emotional freedom program. Same answer. And self-awareness program. Self-knowledge is compared to a full fruit-bearing tree. What does the seed symbolize in this metaphor? The seed symbolizes the initial knowledge or the teaching. Just like a seed needs a proper care to grow into a tree. You just discussed. Now I'm focused on the knowledge in the intellect. So now that is only a seed. So I have to grow intellectual conviction, following the practice, and ultimately I realize, oh, that knowledge is already there. It is beyond the intellect. It is a tree. So I have to nurture this knowledge in the beginning through the intellect by consistent learning and the practice. So this is what makes it. This comes from the Mandukya Upanishad. I gave reference. Oh yes, that the how do the wings and okay. I created a lot of metaphor. But yes, we can take one. The flight of an aeroplane represents one's journey through the life. How do the wings and tail of the aeroplane relate to this? The wings represent shreyas, elevating one higher. Because of the wings, you rise higher. The tail represents the preyas. Preyas is still chasing you, providing stability and the control. Oh, no, no, I'm comfortable. Yes, yes, I'm comfortable. Let me remain comfortable and continue the journey. Balance is required between lifting force and the stabilizing force. So that is what, again, it comes from the Mandukya Upanishad. I converted that metaphor into a plane. I did not do that. What is the role of the spiritual teacher in obtaining this self-knowledge? Life is a compassionate doctor diagnosing an illness and prescribing the treatment. That is what every teacher does. Don't blame life. Don't blame anyone. You have to perceive the life as a means of conscious evolution and transformation. No need to have a guilt. Go ahead, follow that. So, what another question I have created, if there is another question or not?
So by contemplation, we integrate this
Integrate
construction.
this. Yeah. We integrate this